All right, my friend, welcome back to another episode here on the Fit Father Project podcast. Again, my name's Dr. Anthony Balduzzi. I'm the founder here at the Fit Father Project and the host of the Fit Father Project podcast. And today's episode is very special. We're going to be going through our foundation series where we're going to teach you our core principles around healthy eating and nutrition. And you probably know nutrition is one of the most important things when it comes to your health and fitness. In fact, as we tell our Fit Father program members, nutrition probably drives around 80% of your health and fitness results. Whether you want to lose weight and lose fat, whether you want to build muscle, whether you want to get off prescription medications and just increase your energy and your vitality, your nutrition is key. Now, if you look around right now at the landscape of different nutrition advice, it can be incredibly confusing to figure out what to eat. There are 1,000,001 different types of diets. A lot of them are really focused on the minutia. You need to eat this many carbs. You need to eat this type of food. You need to do this or that. You need to do this rigid plan. The fact is, those solutions obviously don't work. If they did work, then 50% of guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s would not be overweight. But guys are. And that's because that approach to nutrition is failing guys. Diets won't work. What will work, though, is principles. Principles are facts and truisms and ideas that have stood the test of time. They're the foundational stuff that if we dedicate our lives to mastering principles and applying those into our lives, we can produce consistent results. And I want to open this podcast today on nutrition by quoting Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says that success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic principles and fundamentals. So what are those fundamentals when it comes to nutrition? What are the things for you as a busy guy in your 40s, 50s, and 60s that you should be focusing on? Well, I want to cover the 7 principles today that we build our Fit Father program around. These are the core foundational principles of nutrition. So, principle number 1, it's that healthy eating should not feel like a diet or a punishment. Your nutrition, the stuff you put into your body, is fuel, and it should feel amazing to look forward to putting good stuff into your body. The kind of stuff that makes you feel amazing, energized, and full, and ready to attack and tackle your day and reach your goals. The problem is for most guys, when it comes to nutrition, they feel like they're sitting down in front of this boring salad or they're eating another dried chicken breast, and they're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this long term. And that's the truth. Those types of approaches that aren't enjoyable and don't work with your life for the long haul and that aren't focused on sustainability are simply not going to work for you. So this first principle is really about mindset. It's about your relationship to nutrition. And it comes down to this very simple fact, that your body is a machine, and the nutrition that you put into your body, it's the fuel for that machine. So imagine that I gave you the greatest car in the world, this amazing souped up Corvette that you absolutely love. And then I told you that you should put some crap, low octane grade gas in there, just some terrible stuff. You'd look at me like I'm crazy. Why would I put terrible fuel into this souped up amazing machine? Well, the problem is most people are doing that to themselves every single day because there is not a single more amazing machine on this planet than your body. I mean, just think about this. Every single second, there are millions of enzymatic chemical reactions happening in your body that's giving you the ability to listen to this podcast, to think, to breathe, to move, to create energy, to do all this amazing metabolic activity. And the fuel that we put into the body either supports that, helps those processes work better, or junks things up. And this is foundational. Before we talk about what foods to eat, when you should eat, and other principles like that, we need to get our mindset right. We need to reshape our relationship to nutrition so that when we look at food and we look at fuel, it's putting good stuff into our body. It's a supportive, positive process. So that next time you sit down to have a meal, I want you to have this experience where you look at that food and you're like, heck yes, this is fuel that is making me better. And when we're sitting there mindlessly and we go to reach for the candy or the chips, we're not having that kind of conversation internally. We're mindlessly just putting crap in the tank and not really thinking about what we're doing. But imagine what life would look like if from today onwards you had a different relationship, a different consciousness and awareness around your choices. And when you woke up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to put some amazing fuel in my body because this is an amazing machine, a God-given machine that's going to help me perform great, be there for my family, attack my goals, conquer my health, get whatever I want to get done. It all comes down to the right fuel selection. So when we understand this, it adds a new perspective and a new weight to all the choices we make, and that gives us more power. Because let's face it, principle number 2 is the fact that nutrition is completely intertwined to your daily rhythms. Every time you wake up, you have, let's just say, 14 hours of your day. You're spending the rest of the time sleeping or doing whatever. Those 14 hours are your normal daily rhythm of waking life. And nutrition is so foundational to that. You're eating almost every single day, likely unless you're doing some kind of strategic fasting, which we're going to talk about on this podcast. But the idea here is that nutrition is so foundational to these rhythms. So before we talk about what foods to eat, we need to talk about what is the structure and the rhythm that we've consciously established in your life. So when you wake up right now, what are you doing first thing in the morning to support the fueling of your body? I'll tell you what our Fit Fathers are doing. The guys in our programs, they're immediately rehydrating with high quality water, with a pinch of some salt or some trace minerals, because the first thing the body needs in the morning is quality hydration. The body is 80% water. You've heard this, roughly speaking, right? All of our cells are full of water. We have so much water, so we need to get into the body first thing in the morning. And the point here is not just the fact that you need water. It's the fact that I want you to be thinking about your rhythm throughout the day. What are you doing in the morning to support your body's nutrition and fuel? When are you having breakfast? When are you having lunch? When is your last meal of the day? When do you stop eating? I cannot stress this enough. More important than the specific foods you're eating is the structure. The structure is the skeleton of your nutrition rhythm. So you need to make a proactive structure and have a plan for your meal timing. So when guys join the Fit Father Project, whether they join our Fit Father 30X fat loss program or our old school muscle building program, one of the first things we help them do is design their proactive nutrition structure so they know when they're eating throughout the day, because that structure is the skeleton. It is the frame of the house. So imagine spending all your time, you're building a new house and you want to focus on the color of the walls and the kind of light fixtures you have in your garage or your bathroom, but you didn't frame the house. That's exactly what people are doing when they're debating how many carbs you should eat, whether broccoli is healthier than asparagus, whether you should have wild salmon or you should eat grass-fed beef. These kinds of things are the small details that pale in comparison to the structure. Because ultimately, when you have a nutrition structure, we can hang all the other strategies on top of that structure. And if you have a good structure, then each day that you wake up, you're following this routine, a routine that's going to give you energy, a routine that's going to remove your need to rely on willpower, a routine that requires less thinking for you and becomes more automatic. And when nutrition becomes automatic because you have structure, you're going to be more consistent. And when you're consistent, you're going to see better results. All of this happens automatically with good structure. So this is why principle number 2, you must figure out your routine. So our program members, when we have them come and join us, we're not telling you when you should eat your meals. We give you a variety of different meal timing schedule setups. Some guys intermittent fast. They skip that first meal of the day and maybe they have that first meal at 10:30 or 11 a.m. Other guys wake up super early. They have breakfast around 5, 6 a.m. The point is not you need to follow this specific meal timing schedule setup. The point is you need to find the one that works for you based on your schedule. And it needs to be a conscious decision, because when you have structure, your nutrition becomes proactive. You know, this is when I'm eating, and you're not going to fall prey to the reactive nutrition behavior. Every time you've had a late night binge snack on ice cream, candy, or whatever you might eat late at night, it's because you fell into reactive mode. You weren't following a proactive structure. So we can give ourselves the gift of structure, and then we can hang the right kinds of foods on top of that structure. This is so key. And the key thing here too, additionally, is you need to find the structure that works for you in your schedule, the one that has the least amount of friction. So are you hungry in the morning? If the answer is no, maybe something like intermittent fasting is going to be great for you. If you work out in the morning and you're hungry in the morning, then maybe having breakfast early after you work out is your right structure. Whatever it is doesn't matter. Whatever it is for you that fits seamlessly into your schedule is what is most important. Now, principle number 3 is the best nutrition plan, in our opinion, the one we've tested on over 40,000 fit fathers in over 100 countries, is balanced and non-restrictive. Because when you look around at a lot of the popular diets, they typically are removing one type of thing. You have low-carb diets that really reduce a lot of the carbohydrate foods. You have low-fat diets that reduce a lot of the fats. You have plant-based diets that reduce a lot of these animal proteins. You have people eating only animal proteins on these carnivore diets, and they're reducing all the plants. Our thought process here is the approach that's going to work best for you long-term is the one that is balanced and non-restrictive. Because hardwired into the psychology, the evolutionary psychology of the human mind, is this idea that the things that are restrictive and scarce are the things that we crave. So if I put you on an incredibly low-carb diet and you never ate a carb again, you're going to start to crave carbs. Vice versa, if I told you not to eat fat anymore and you couldn't have avocados or almonds or nuts and seeds, then you're going to want those kinds of things. So our approach with Fit Father is that we want a balanced, non-restricted plan because that's going to be sustainable over the long haul. And the best foods to have that fit that criteria must pass something that we call the great-grandmother test. This is a concept I borrowed from an amazing educator named Michael Pollan, who basically says that the best foods to eat are those that your great-grandmother would have recognized. So your great-grandmother, imagine, let's just say this was 100 years ago, 150 years ago. Would she be able to recognize the food? She'd certainly know that an apple is apple, that salmon is salmon, that grass-fed beef is grass-fed beef. But she might not recognize the double Twinkie Oreo stuffed thing or the weird thing that comes in the box or this kind of conglomerated additive kind of snack food that comes in these weird packaging with a million different kinds of ingredients. And it's not to say you can never have those things, right? It's to say that you should build the majority of your nutrition around non-processed foods. And if you take that to heart, and that's one of the main things you do, is when you sit down and you have a plate of food that is pretty much single ingredient foods. So let's just say you have some kind of protein on the side with some kind of vegetable on the side with some kind of healthy carb that is all single ingredient foods. So there's lots of things that could fit that bill. Salmon, asparagus, brown rice, grass-fed ground beef, broccoli, and maybe a little bit of sweet potato or yam. All of these are passing the great-grandmother test. She'd be able to identify all of that stuff. So if you just judge your nutrition and build around these single ingredient foods, you're going to be wildly successful. So it almost begs principle number 4. And principle number 4 is that our fit fathers, the guys who are most successful with their nutrition over the long haul, they know what their go-to healthy foods are. These are your favorite healthy foods, the ones you love. So if I come over to your house and we sit down at your kitchen table together and I ask you right now, what are your favorite healthy foods in these 4 categories? What are your favorite healthy proteins? What are your favorite healthy vegetables? What are your favorite healthy carbohydrates? What are your favorite healthy fats? So for me, some examples. I love wild salmon. I love eggs. I like sardines. These are some of my go-to healthy foods that I love. So when I go each week to the grocery store, and truly my wife does most of the shopping, but she knows my go-to food. She goes in and she buys these things in bulk. And these are foods that I love enjoying to eat. So when we prepare these things, I'm like, heck yeah, I get to have salmon today. I get to have some more eggs today. This is great. What are your go-to proteins? What are your favorite vegetables? And maybe you're a guy that doesn't really like vegetables, but you got to have something. Is it steamed broccoli? Is it sauteed spinach with some garlic and onions or something like that? Is it asparagus, Brussels sprouts, a nice fresh salad? Whatever it is for you, you need to make the conscious decision to know what that is. And I truly recommend that you write this down. You figure out what your go-to foods are. Give yourself the challenge of writing your 3 to 4 go-to foods in proteins and veggies and carbs as well. So what kind of carbs do you like? I love rice. I like sweet potatoes. I like berries. I love oatmeal. And so these are go-to foods I'm having on a regular basis, and it doesn't feel restrictive for me because these are foods I already love. So I'm building a nutrition plan around foods I love versus the approach that many people take where they grab a new diet book off the shelf that is promising that you'll lose a bunch of weight overnight and keep it off forever, and you're trying to follow the foods that they say you should eat. That is a backwards approach. I'm saying you should follow the foods that you enjoy eating, that we know are healthy, that you already love, and build your nutrition plan around that. And then your healthy fats. What kind of healthy fats do you love? For me, I love olive oil, based dressings on a salad. I like nuts and seeds, macadamia nuts, hemp seeds. I love egg yolks. I like the natural fat that is in some kinds of meats and fishes and stuff like this. So I know these things and I'm building my meals around these things. And when you do get very clear and conscious on what your go-to healthy foods are, and you start to build your nutrition plan around those foods, it is incredible what happens. What happens is you feel like you're on an effortless, enjoyable, filling, and satisfying, healthy plan that doesn't require all this complication and BS of traditional diets. Very, very key. You got to get clear on these things as principle number 4. Principle number 5 could have honestly been principle number 1. I think it's so foundational. And it's the idea that when it comes to nutrition, the key thing is being consistent over the long haul, right? Because every day we wake up, our nutrition is a series of choices we're making about what we're putting in our bodies. And let's say you're like many people and you eat 3 meals per day, and there's 7 days throughout the week. That is 21 decisions you need to make every single week that you need to get right to be consistent. So obviously things like picking your go-to foods help you be more consistent because you have a plan. But the other thing that's equally important is to help remove decision points in the future and create an environment in your household and in your schedule to set yourself up for success. So what if we standardized a couple of your meals throughout the day? So what many of our fit fathers do, the most successful guys, is they do a power protein shake in the morning. They have great things in there. They have protein. They might have some hemp seeds, some spinach, some almond milk, some other like super greens powders in here. And what's really amazing about it is that is a standardized, delicious first meal of the day that doesn't require any decision power because you've already decided what it's going to be. It takes less than 5 minutes to make. And now you've set yourself up for a rhythm of momentum and success early in the day. And you've removed 1/3 of your decision points throughout the week by simply standardizing that first meal. And what is the power of that? Well, the power of that is if you can standardize your first meal and do that for an entire year, you've done 1/3 additionally better than you did in the past. And that is huge in terms of your long-term compounding success. So our fit fathers, in addition to their go-to foods, they figure out their go-to meals, particularly for that first meal of the day where you're setting the tone for your nutrition. Protein shakes, absolutely great. Overnight oatmeal if you're plant-based, absolutely great. Egg-based recipes, so you can have some kind of egg omelet with some veggies on the side, absolutely great. These are simple things, and if you regiment that first meal, you've removed decision points. And the other caveat of this principle number 5 in creating an environment for your success is that you also want to remove willpower battles in your life. And we all know this to be true. If the chips are in the pantry, we're going to eat them. So what if we make the commitment to not getting the crap stuff in the house? Just don't buy it in the first place. Get it out of there. And additionally, another tactic that a lot of fit fathers do when they follow our meal plan is they actually pick their go-to healthy snack or dessert food. So they know occasionally, look, we're going to have a sweet tooth. We're going to have a craving for something. So can we substitute something in that we've pre-planned and thought about that is our go-to snack? So maybe it is a little bit of dark chocolate. Maybe it is a healthier kind of chip. Maybe it is we have some frozen fruit after dinner. Whatever that is, the point is we're creating a system here. We're making a series of decisions and making those decisions into a system that we can follow. It's going to help us be consistent, and it's going to help us remove the reliance on willpower. It's going to help us remove all these temptations in our life. It's going to help us be more consistent without needing to think about what we're doing. Absolutely huge. Now, principle number 6 is we need to balance consistency with variety. Throughout these prior principles, I've been talking about the idea that we want to regiment things. We want to regiment that first meal. We want to figure out what our go-to foods are, our go-to snacks are. And all of that is great because it helps boost our consistency lever. The more consistent we are, the better results we see, right? Because we're on the plan. But the problem is if we're rigidly consistent all the time and we don't have any variety, it's like this almost like pressure that just builds up inside of us that finally bursts like this volcano, and then we binge on some kinds of foods. So what if we were tactical and we built in variety ahead of time? So one strategy we teach in our FitFollower 30X fat loss program is that we pre-plan a free meal every single week. And notice I didn't say cheat meal because that makes it seem like you're doing something wrong. It's simply not true. You've just pre-planned a meal every single week where you're going to eat whatever food you love in that one meal. Have it. And that way you're having some variety into your schedule. You're getting that in before you have this explosion of binging out because you've been so restricted over the long haul. So we want to balance these things. And if I could give you a percentage, I would say that you're probably trying to hit consistency 85% of the time, with variety 15% of the time. So to get really, really granular, what we teach people in our Fit Father meal plan is we help them regiment the first meal of the day. If you have breakfast or if you skip that, that's fine. But that first meal of the day, we help you pick your go-to foods and go-to meals for the second meal of the day. We help you figure out what your go-to snack is, so you know what that is. So in a pinch, if you are kind of hungry in the middle of the day, you have a healthy go-to snack you've already thought about. You have protein bars lying around, you have nuts and seeds, you have a protein shake, you have some fruit, but you know what that is. And then for dinner, we allow you to have more variety. You get to combine all sorts of different foods. If you pair any kind of protein with any kind of veggie you love, you cannot go wrong with dinner. And there's so much variety that you could make. So consistency and variety need to be balanced. And again, this is in the overall context of a sustainable system. And the final principle that I want to share with you today is the idea that course correcting and recommitting to your nutrition is the path forward. The people who are unsuccessful with their healthy eating over the long haul, they often have this all or nothing mentality. The idea that you're on the plan and you're doing perfect, and the second there's any slight road bump or deviation, you're off the plan. That is simply not how this works. How this works is nutrition is a series of decisions. And oftentimes when we listen to our bodies and we're like, man, I didn't do great yesterday. I feel bloated. My digestion is off. It's a chance to recommit every single day. And it's not like recommitting is bad. Recommitting is the path forward. And it's strange to me when I think about this, is we recommit to so many important areas of our lives. Sometimes we recommit to our family's finances. We're going to save more money. We're going to get tighter on this. Sometimes we recommit to being better at our work and being more productive. We recommit to our hobbies and passions. We recommit to a romantic relationship. We also need to recommit to our nutrition. And this kind of brings us back full circle to principle number one. We need to recommit to the idea that nutrition is fuel, that this body is an amazing machine and it's worth it. And we can recommit every single day, as much as we need to. And if you keep on recommitting yourself, that's going to give you this trend up trajectory over a long period of time, which is going to help you be successful. And that really is this game, right? For how many days you have left in your life, I don't know what that is for me or for you, but we do have the chance every single day to wake up new and refreshed, to get that water in our bodies, to take a deep breath and say, heck yes, I'm alive. I'm grateful to be here. I'm going to work on making choices that are going to make me the best version of myself. And you fuel your body in that way. You have your consistent meal number one, that egg recipe, that protein shake. For lunch, you have that amazing sandwich recipe. You have a salad with protein on it. You have a go-to meal for lunch. You know that you have your snacks that are already packed in your car or in your briefcase or in your backpack. You have a little baggie of nuts. You have a protein bar that you really enjoy. You pack a protein shake just in case you need it. It's there. So when that hunger pain comes up, when you feel like you need a little something, you've planned. Anthony in the past made that decision that Anthony in the future was probably going to need a snack. So here you are. It's like you're constantly giving yourself the gift into the future with the system, and that enables you to be consistent. And consistency is the game. It's not about perfection. It's about knowing why this is important. It's about establishing your system. This is not a diet. These are principles. These are principles of managing your behavior, eating whole foods, having a schedule that works for you, recommitting. This is the Fit Father path. And if you are here right now, you're listening to this, and you're a man in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, and if you want to lose weight, or if you want to build muscle, my team and I can help you. We can remove all of the guesswork from this nutrition stuff. We will hand you our Fit Father meal plan that shows you exactly what to eat, gives you all of these amazing go-to foods-based recipes, gives you all the schedule setups. You'll find the one that works perfectly for you. And finally, the promise is this, is you can make nutrition simple and enjoyable and sustainable. Just listen to some of the interviews we have on this channel of Fit Fathers using the system. They love it. They wake up every single day fired up. They look forward to their morning shakes because it makes them feel so good. They know how to build these go-to foods-based perfect plates, as we call them, with healthy food that works for their entire family. We have our Fit Father 30X fat loss program. There's going to be links in the show notes. This is the exact step-by-step plan for guys who are 40 who want to lose weight, lose fat, and keep it off on a systems-based, principles-based, balanced approach. And if you're a guy right now, you're at your goal weight, but you want to gain some muscle and strength, we have our old school muscle building program that takes all of these exact principles, except tweaks it specifically for muscle building, meaning you're upping some protein, you're upping your calories a little bit in the smart way, so you're building muscle and not putting on fat. It is possible, my friend, but we have to leave behind the idea of diets, and we have to adopt the idea of lifestyle-based principles, of helping ourselves make more consistent, good decisions. That's what's possible for you. So I'm excited about this Core Foundation series. I know I talk fast. I know I go through a lot of this stuff, and I'm here to just inundate you with these principles because they're going to soak in. They're going to come in, and I want you, here's your challenge for this week. As you approach your next meal today, I want you to look at that food and look at it and be like, this is fuel for my body. I am so grateful to be able to eat this. This is making me better. And if you haven't written down your go-to foods and you don't know what those are yet, I want you to write those down today. Remember, 4 categories: proteins, veggies, healthy carbs, healthy fats. Write those foods down and buy them this week. And if you want the step-by-step plan, check the show notes, join our Fit Father Project programs. We can help you change your life. Thanks for being here, my friend. I will catch you in future episodes. We're going to be talking about the foundations of exercise for men over 40 coming up. And of course, we have all these incredible interviews of real guys, real fit fathers in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who are using this principle-based approach to lose fat, to build age-defying muscle, and to be healthy for themselves and their families. Welcome to the Fit Father Project, my friend. If you enjoy this, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in future episodes.